Dzień dobry, zapraszamy wszystkich dzisiaj na nasz webinar o projekcie Nucoffee Artisans, kontrolowaną fermentacją. Powoli tutaj już szykujemy kawy, szykujemy naszych gości do prezentacji dzisiaj. Większość ludzi, które biorą udział dzisiaj w tym wydarzeniu, wiedzą, jaki to jest ważny dla Unroasted ten projekt z kontrolowaną fermentacją. Więc jest z dużą przyjemnością, że dzisiaj zabraliśmy wszystkich, które też pracują bardzo mocno w Brazylii, aby rozwijać jeszcze bardziej kawę produkowaną przez ten projekt i porozmawiać o tym. Tak bardzo chodzi o edukację i przygotowanie Was do też promowania tej kawy, do kawiarni, przez sklep internetowy i do Waszych klientów jak najbardziej. Czekamy jeszcze chwileczkę. Ja tutaj myślę, że 2 do 3 minuty, aby że więcej tutaj zaproszeni mogli do nas połączyć i za chwilę będziemy zacząć porozmawiać. Pamiętam też, że dla tych, którzy dostali próbki, tak, zostały do Was próbki, 6 próbeczek kawy z procesu kontrolowanej fermentacji, że jak najbardziej chcemy, że Was bierzesz udział też w rozmowie, tak? Ten udział w rozmowie będzie właśnie podczas prezentacji gościa Silvio Leite, który jest head judge Cup of Excellence w Brazylii i osoby, które bardzo się angażowały w tym projekcie, też testowania tej kawy. I on będzie pod stroną Brazylii też porozmawiać i dać jej zdanie, jak w Brazylii odebrali tej kawy, tak? Bo tutaj jak najbardziej jest jakaś różnica kulturowa, tak? Może się zdarzyć, że w Brazylii smaki, które czują w kawie, jest inaczej niż smak, który czują w kawie w Polsce. Ja myślę, że tutaj możemy powoli zacząć. Mamy już po trzecią 5. OK. Więc dla nas, dla Unroasted, jest bardzo ważne właśnie takie wspieranie i promowanie takich projektów, które są bardziej zaangażowane z technologią w kawie. Tak? Jakie technologie, jakie nauka można zwiększyć jakość w kawie. I to jest dlaczego, że ten projekt dla nas jest bardzo ciekawy, bo zaczęło w UFLA, później Syngenta Nucoffee też brał udział w tym jako sponsorem tego projektu. I dla nas jest dużo przyjemności, bo chcemy pokazywać, co najlepiej jest w Brazylii, jeśli chodzi o profilu kawa i że tutaj dotarło do Was na rynku. Po drugiej stronie też jest bardzo ważna dla nas edukacja, tak, że zostali wyedukowani i że zostali i zrozumieni, co się dzieje na farmie, co się dzieje, takie nowe trendy w rynku kawowym. I to jest dlaczego, że robimy to wszystko i też mamy bardzo dużo teraz możliwości w tym projekcie, że możemy Wam zaproponować ponad 50 lot kawy, które są tak bardzo fajne i ta edukacja w dzień dzisiejszy będzie bardzo ważna, aby Wam lepiej zrozumieć, o co chodzi. Okay? To po pierwszej kolejności ja będę zaprosił tutaj Andrea Savino. On jest Head of Marketing w Syngenta i on będzie porozmawiać właśnie o technologii w kawie i technologie w kawie i jakie to się połączy wszystko na rynku kawowym, tak, z całą supply chain. Andrea Savino, please, tell us a little bit more, of your work there in Brazil and how Syngenta Nucoffee is making this possible to connect new technologies inside the exterior markets.
Thanks, Alexandre. Are you listening me well?
I'm listening
Yeah.
very well.
Okay. So thanks so much. It's a pleasure to be here with you all. So now you have around 60 important people across the world connected. So it's to me it's a great pleasure to be here representing Syngenta and representing Nucoffee. Better saying, it's a I'd like to before introduce Nucoffee, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm an agronomist. I have been working in Syngenta Brazil in the last 23 years. I have worked in several areas here, and nowadays I'm in charge of marketing strategy. And you have a pleasure to have a Nucoffee embedded in our key priorities in Syngenta. I also mentioned that despite Syngenta, I'm a coffee producer. I produce coffee in the Minas Gerais state, in the south of Minas Gerais. So I'm a passionate for this crop and for coffee and for coffee with a high quality. So I during the weekends I remain work with coffee as well. But you are here not to talk about me, but you are here to talk about the new coffee and how new coffee has been uh, helping or participating in this transformation that coffee has had in Brazil. New Coffee, it's a trading company. It's a boutique trading company that has emerged from an idea to connect growers into the quality journey. So 15 years ago, we realized that coffee in Brazil had a huge potential to provide a high quality coffee. Nevertheless, it was very difficult to get that product. And you create this kind of boutique and you start helping growers in the quality. So you launch a lot of initiatives to maximize quality at the post-harvest activities. And you got a lot of success getting a very good product. And in that time, you starting maximizing as well uh, how to create and maximize the connection across the world, because you thought, oh guys, you need to take this good quality to consumers across the world, and how to do that. And then you created this trading boutique. Then you have basically two objectives. First of all, it's identify and connecting growers across Brazil and identify flavors, characteristics, and coffees that could attend the different demands across the world. Second, how can you help those guys work with quality since the day one, 360 days a year, looking to the production piece, but also post-harvest activities and segregation. And then looking to consumers across the world, and here we are. So having good connections with you guys that has that understand what your customer, what your consumer needs. It's very important to keep this process harmonized here. So basically, this is the main topic that you have in our hands, that you have in our key priorities here. So several people in the field, several connections, engaging co-ops, distributors, technicians, our dedicated sales rep. You also have new trade and new coffee experts here to ensure that you can deliver the coffee that you are looking for. So this is a key priority to us. But it's impossible to do that alone. So you have partnerships, and it's one great partnerships that you have here is with UFLA, and also with some customers that help us to produce this coffee and building such connections across the world. So it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for the opportunity. And I'd like to share with you a video that explain a little bit better our main purpose. And then I will hand over to Matthias Koenig, who is in charge of this new trade here in Brazil, part of our team. Please, video, and thanks for the opportunity. I wish a very good event to us.
O Brasil é um exemplo de revolução na agricultura e o café foi um dos segmentos onde essas transformações foram mais impressionantes. Nos últimos 30 anos, a produtividade do café teve uma evolução surpreendente e nos momentos de crise foi que o cafeicultor mostrou a sua força, ganhando ainda mais eficiência. Em relação à qualidade, também não foi diferente. Hoje, o Brasil é o maior exportador de cafés especiais do mundo. A Singenta, através da plataforma Nucoffee, está ao lado do cafeicultor nessa grande revolução, aproximando a cadeia do café através da conexão dos produtores com o mercado internacional, que valoriza a qualidade. Mas os desafios continuam. Cada vez mais o produtor precisa diferenciar a sua produção para atender um mercado exigente, que busca bebidas com sabores únicos, com origem reconhecida, rastreabilidade e práticas sustentáveis. E sabemos que a demanda por alimentos, incluindo os cafés de qualidade, deverá crescer muito nas próximas décadas. Ao mesmo tempo, os desafios do clima serão maiores. Altas temperaturas e secas mais intensas, que podem causar impactos na produção e qualidade do café. E é por isso que já estamos pensando sobre o futuro do café, preparando o café do futuro, que passa por tecnologias digitais e inovações, buscando sempre a máxima qualidade, reconhecendo e valorizando todo o esforço do produtor pela responsabilidade com informação e segurança alimentar, oferecendo soluções que levam maior controle e gestão dos processos de produção e garantam maior renda para o produtor, promovendo workshops de qualidade e ampliando conhecimentos, integrando com transparência as origens brasileiras com os torrefadores internacionais. São nesses momentos que vivenciamos a real conexão e garantir a qualidade potencial máxima do café, da planta até a xícara, ainda é um grande desafio. E no Nucoffee continua contribuindo para avançarmos juntos. As inovações na pós-colheita, resultado de parcerias com a Universidade Federal de Lavras, vão permitir um avanço ainda maior no potencial da qualidade do café brasileiro. Experimente o café do futuro com Nucoffee.
So thanks for the time. Before I hand over to Matthias, this is the idea. So how to connect growers, keeping the origin, keeping the history of this coffee, but ensure that all the traceability, all the environment respect, and good practice to provide the good coffee that you are looking for. So this is our purpose, and Matthias is gonna share with you how are you planning to do that. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Andre, and good morning or good afternoon, everybody. Very happy to be here with you as well. As you can hear from my accent, I'm not Brazilian. I'm actually German, so not too far from where you guys are located. So I'm very excited to be with you here. My name is Matthias Koenig, and I've been in charge of New Trade and Nucoffee for basically 1 year now. And I'm here to share a little bit more about the platform before we then enter into the specific project. So basically, as Nucoffee, as you can see here on this slide, and also as Andre has mentioned, in Brazil, it's all about the producer, right? And so, of course, our platform represents the whole diversity of Brazilian coffees. We cover all of the relevant regions, all of the relevant varieties. We work with sustainability certificates and also with all kinds of different processes post-harvest. So really, we have a full portfolio. But of course, one key element of the platform is really quality. And so we continuously work on raising the bar together with the producers to really produce quality coffee. So if we go to the next slide, this element of quality coffee is also very much behind the Nucoffee Artisans project, because of course this is a project with the single purpose to improve and improve the sensory profile of Brazilian coffees, and then also connecting those quality coffees from the origin to the roasters, which is also the essence, of course, of this event, where we have producers present and we have roasters present. So it's extremely exciting to actually be having this event here with all of you. If we move on to the next slide, we can also see a bit the scope of what we did in 2020, where effectively you could say that we ran the largest scientific experiment that has ever been done on controlled fermentation or fermented coffees in the history of Brazil, right? So we worked with various regions, various varieties. We worked with over 380 coffee farms producing more than 1,000 lots of coffee with different sensory profiles. So really it's a big project, a huge variety, and a huge opportunity to really liberate the potential of Brazilian coffees and bringing that potential to you guys in the international market. So when it comes to the last slide here on my piece, this shows one more time the idea. So effectively, we want to bring together the international roasting community with the Brazilian growers. And it doesn't stop at this event, right? So we obviously invite everybody who's participating also to continuously give us feedback so that we can improve the platform and really connect Brazilian growers that have a passion for quality and innovation, and international roasters who are regularly looking for differentiation and also new types of coffees, and really make that match between the two sides of the business. So without further ado, I would then like to ask the team to launch another video. Before then, I hand over to Professor Schwan from the University of Lavras to talk a little bit more about the science behind this Artisans project. Thanks a lot.
Durante a SIC também foram conhecidos os melhores cafés produzidos para o Nucoffee Artisans, o projeto que inovou com a fermentação induzida com a utilização de micro-organismos. Eles estão sendo estudados há mais de 20 anos e são do próprio ambiente do café. A ideia é potencializar as características dos grãos, trazendo para o café a diferenciação de sabores e aromas. O primeiro colocado foi Lauro Giovanni de Carvalho Siqueira. Ele produz o café junto com a mãe, em Cambuquira, no sul de Minas Gerais.
Toquei ele bem, com bastante interesse. Eu acho que é o futuro. E ele foi conduzido com muito amor, com muito carinho, seguindo todas as etapas.
As características do café surpreenderam os juízes.
Nível presidencial, é algo que foge, porque um provador de café, e numa análise técnica e em comparação, é muito raro você manter essas notas tão altas. Então, na média dos 10 provadores, dos 10 colegas profissionais que estavam lá, o seu café obteve nota de 90 pontos. E quais são as principais características? Ele tem toque frutado com doce, juntos, né? Então, frutas vermelhas e mel, em termos de sabor. Imagina a complexidade.
Cerca de 400 cafeicultores participaram do projeto Nucoffee Artisans. Eles trabalharam os frutos dentro dessas bombonas, onde controlavam a temperatura da fermentação.
Para mim foi um projeto muito bom, novo. Eu falei para ele, mas será que nós vamos dar conta? Ele falou, vamos sim. Eu falei, bom, então vai ficar por minha conta lá no terreiro e eu vou fazer o possível para fazer um bom café.
Essa experiência da Singenta foi de grande valia para aprendizado e resultado também. O ano que vem nós queremos ampliar essa experiência. Minha mãe ficou bem envolvida no projeto. Toda vez que nós íamos encher as bombonas, ela estava junto, ajudando. E ela sempre perguntando, ó, que hora que vai abrir?
Aí um dia que abriu, eu senti que era um cheiro de pêssego maduro. Que eu falei, nossa, beleza, que cheiro gostoso de pêssego maduro.
Durante o evento online exibido pelo portal da Semana Internacional do Café, os 50 mais pontuados foram apresentados para o público.
E o ranqueamento, ele serve também para dar direção, para estabelecer padrões, novos padrões, porque esse café tem uma riqueza sensorial diferenciada, mais diversa, ele vai explicar melhor. Mas vamos pensar, gente, que aqui nós não estamos falando que existe o melhor café, mas existem novos padrões, e que aí vocês todos, os produtores, poderão seguir esses novos conceitos. O modelo só tem um caminho, que é a evolução.
Więc tutaj bardzo ciekawy projekt, bo widzimy tutaj, jak się angażowali farmerzy do nauczenia w tym procesie i te obróbki, jak to zrobić to dokładnie. I to jest bardzo dużo roboty, tak? Bo trzeba zainwestować, trzeba tam wydać bardzo dużo czasu i ja myślę, że tutaj jest kolejny powód, dlaczego warto też się zbierać i próbować tej kawy. Ja też chciałbym was pamiętać, nie wiem, ten Palanie, który już współpracuje z nami od jakiś czas, jakie to wszystko się zaczęło, tak? To było 2 lata temu dopiero, to było tak kilka próbki mieliśmy w ręku, że dostaliśmy nawet produkcję jeszcze nie było, już było 2019, prowadziliśmy tej kawy tutaj na rynku, było tylko 7-8 farmerów, które brały udział w tej produkcji tej kawy i teraz mamy prawie 400, więc to naprawdę w przyszłości. A teraz będę tutaj zaprosił profesora Rosane, która ciekawa jest historia, bo jej przeddziadek się urodził we Wrocławiu, więc ona też jest bardzo ciekawa, aby po prostu bardziej zrozumieć jej korzenie. Ale może w tym pogadamy później. W międzyczasie jak najbardziej zapraszam, najlepiej po angielsku, do pisania w czat. Tak? Jeśli macie jakieś pytania, wy jesteście tutaj najważniejsi w tym momencie. Tak? My potrzebujemy waszej pomocy, aby rozwijać jeszcze bardziej tę technologię. Professor Rosane, always a pleasure. Please, show us how everything started with your research and why this technology of controlled fermentation can actually bring new quality for coffee, outstanding quality.
Thank you, Alexandre. Thank you all for listening. And it's my pleasure to be here to talk about the research that started 25 years ago, choosing microorganisms to work on coffee fermentation. So today I'd like to just mention when and how it occurs, why we use Artisans controlled fermentation, the main benefits of this process, and what we think about the future next steps. So coffee fermentation happens naturally in the field. So wherever we have humidity and sugars and some microorganisms, we will have a fermentation process. In coffee, what it does is just to remove the pulp, and we leave it to dry until 10 to 11% of humidity. But coffee fermentation depends on the environmental factors, fruit composition, if they have more sugars or more acidity than others, the type of processing, if they use natural processing, wet or pulped process. And at this time with Artisans, we start with bioreactors. It means that a confined vessel to ferment coffee. This fermentation, these factors all influence the microbial activity. When we have no control, we can have very good coffee, but sometimes with variable quality. With this control processing, we increase the desirable microbiota, and we proved that it's possible to the improvement of the final quality of the total coffee, and also to get different flavors and aromas. So the microbiota present during coffee processing is containing bacteria, yeast, and filamentous fungi. So in the last 25 years, we have been studying which ones are important to enhance coffee flavor. So the main microbial genera are these ones here on the screen, but we have focused on our on the yeasts that are in this first yellow card, and we study them according to what they can produce in coffee pulp. So then we start to think how the microorganisms contribute to coffee quality, how they can improve the coffee flavor. What's happening during the fermentation? When we remove the skin, we have in the pulp some polysaccharides, some sugar, and lots of natural microorganisms. So yeast and bacteria, they dominate the process, and they produce citric acid, high alcohols, malic acids, ethanol, acetic acids, and lactic acids. These compounds give the different flavor that we can taste in the coffee after roasting. So our objective was to find out which ones can penetrate the seed and remain after drying. So we focus on these metabolites, and we start with the Artisans controlled fermentation. So natural, wet, and pulp natural, you already know the flavors, you know the difference among the countries and among the regions in Brazil. But with the Artisans, we start to ferment cherries in bioreactors, and natural cherries, and also pulped coffee in bioreactors. So these two fermentations are the ones that we call the first fermentation in closed bioreactors. So during this fermentation, we start with these vessels here. The microorganisms that we inoculate induced a self-induced anaerobes by producing lots of CO2 inside the bioreactors. This CO2 will give to the seeds a different chemical reactions, and that's why change the flavor. So the Artisans controlled fermentation start with the controlled bioreactor, as we can see here in the first picture. And we inoculate yeast dilution and inoculate this yeast before the fermentation, and the fermentation lasts from 72 to 120 hours. It depends on the region and the coffee variety. So I'm not going to read out the compounds here, but I'd like to draw your attention to this square here and to these colorful figures. So in the first one here, we have the control. It means the coffee in bioreactors, but without any yeast, without any microorganism. And these ones here are the ones with 4 different yeast species. And as you can see, using the same variety, each yeast gave a different coffee compounds. It means that each one presents a different flavor and a different aroma. When we analyze it using temporal dominant sensations, we found that the control here was very bitter. The second one with this is called Candida parapsilosis, also bitter as well. But when we inoculate with Saccharomyces cerevisiae, we got very strong chocolate and acidity, and also fruit. And with this Pichia Guillemot, very strong, intense chocolate flavor was detected. So what's the main benefit of Artisans controlled fermentation? It controls the quality of the fermentation. It controls the amount of microorganisms inside the bioreactor. Increase the sensorial quality of beverage. We also showed that you can see later with the Q grade Silvio Leite, the specific sensorial profile using the same variety, but sometimes in different regions and different yeast, we got the different flavors, and accelerate the process, especially the drying process. Until now, we have these 5 yeasts that we can give to the farmers. We can give to them according to their altitude, their variety, coffee variety, and also the region where they are growing coffee. The Artisans controlled fermentation, what we expect for the future. First, we have to talk about the ripeness of the fruit. This project is for ripe fruits only, so it needs to be select harvesting. The closed bioreactor, it could be with polyestyrene or stainless steel, but it has to be a closed one. We showed that we need a specific yeast strain, and the coffee should dry in suspended and very controlled platform. So what we got from this, we got this partnership with Nucoffee that allowed us as a researcher at the university to expand the knowledge and allowed us to give to all the farmers the product of research. And we found that the coffee using this Artisans controlled fermentation has a exquisite and unique coffee flavor. And for next step, we have a culture collection of agricultural microbiology, which is registered at UFLA and also in the World Culture Collection, Federal Culture Collection. And we have more than 200 strains that we still need to study. And this strain, what we expect from them, the diversification and intensification of flavors and aroma. So at end of each year, we would expect huge profile to attend the demand of each consumer. So it's not only to increase the coffee quality, but also to diversify this quality to allow the consumers to choose which ones they prefer. So this work was done with lots of my students and colleagues at UFLA, and I'd like to thank the coffee producers that allowed us to ferment in their farms, and Syngenta Nucoffee that allowed us to go after 25 years study to go to the farms and show our new technology. And now I would like to pass to my colleague, Silvio Leite, which is a Q grader that has the showed he tastes all the coffees, and he can talk to you about this exquisite explosion of flavor. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor Rosane. I think it's just amazing, how this study goes and put all together something like a type of fermentation that actually makes sense, right? Because the word controlled is not there, is there for a reason, actually, right? Like it's there because like the process is controlled, like since like the bacteria and the microorganisms were selected to be part of the bioreactors and the quantity that is like inserted. So like I think it's important to remember that this is something that can be replicated, right? So like we're not talking here about like a single microlot that we're gonna see this year, and next year probably like the same profile not gonna appear. Like we can repeat that, and like we can repeat that on scale. So like I think it's a great opportunity and a great breakthrough for the market. Now, like, let's bring Silvio Leite, like this person, which is, well, like in Brazil, like he's very known, like in the coffee industry, also head judge in the Cup of Excellence, and well, like a very pleasant person to be around in any sense. So he's gonna be explaining about each coffee that you have received samples, okay? Like for those which are watching that receive samples, we have here 6 coffees, right? Like you receive 6 coffees. And he's gonna go one by one explaining like how these coffees are actually tasting from his side, from the side of his team, right? Like what is the profile that they found? And it's very important that like some of you via chat, or if you wanna at some moment after like you finish explaining his point of view of some coffee, if you wanted to interact, like now like all the guests also you're gonna have like her videos and mics open, and you can also comment. It's very important for us to have this connection, this participation. I think that's all which is called which is coffee about. Hello, Silvio.
Hello. Thank you very much. It was really a big pleasure for me to be part of this very important meeting with Nucoffee team, with Dr. Rosane, Schwan and her team, and with your team, Alexander. Thank you. Thanks for having me here. So I'm very happy to be sharing all this information with you. Just to let me, you know quickly, I'm an independent consulting that I'm working for many years in coffee business, especially cupping coffees. I have been working for Cup of Excellence, or in fact, has one of the guys that has founder Cup of Excellence here in Brazil in 1999. And then we have prepared the cupping form for Cup of Excellence and help support as SCCAA cupping form as well. And very recently, I am a little coffee producer here in Bahia, where I live in Chapada Diamantina regions, where I give some support for the producers and as well producing some coffee. But let's move on. Why I am so involved and excited about this project? First, I think that is really important. I have science, research, and technology that is UFLA through Dr. Rosane Schwan is bringing to this project. We are looking for this step now and for the future. So we are going forward. I have to learn more and more about natural controlled process fermentation. Where I'm using natural, because all the components involved on this fermentation is not to change the coffee flavor, but to emphasize the good aspect of the coffee flavor. This is important. We are not changing the flavor. Coffee is coffee and has to be clean and always, some different ways. Sweet, this is the very basic. So Alex, I'm going to in this way. And before starting, what make me very happy, we have more than 4,000 farmers involved in this project. We have cupped for this project almost 400 samples. And today we are presenting the 6 farms that we have here to be cupping together. The one farm is Palmital. The grower is Paulo Henrique Aramaki. And the farm is Furnas, Mr. Denilson Costa. And as well, farm is Moinho, Raul, the grower is Raul Assunção Pinto e Filhos. And the farm Guariroba, that's very famous one, and the Brazilian champion as well. And the producer is Homero Aguiar Paiva. And the farmer is Santo Antônio, is the grower is João Marco Botelho. He's a very good cupper as well, my colleague in many of the competition, as well roaster. And the farmer Juliana, from grower Renato José Bayard. So this is the coffee that we select together with Mr. José Naves from a Nucoffee Cuppers team to be presenting here today. And I have a special condition because it's not possible to cup in like 20 samples. So we select specific flavors to be present with Alexandre with you today. So this is the 6 samples. I think everyone received exactly the same, 1 to 6. I will be cupping in this order, and it'll be easier for us to understand the comments. The another point is this: we have prepared this coffee with Mr. Naves in Brazil quite a long time. It was about 20 to 30 days ago. So we may lose some of the quality of some specific components, but I think that is still wonderful, great opportunity for us to cup together. Can you move forward, Alexandre?
Yeah, let's move forward. Like, what is your opinion about sample number 1? Okay. Like, we are cupping it here once again, Silvio. Like, we are, I don't know, I already cupped these coffees a couple times, but like, just like to refresh in my mind. I'm here also with Raf from Raf & Co. Like, also, like, all the guests, like, you know who he is, and he's gonna be giving his opinion as well. And we're gonna be waiting for the opinion of all the guests as well, like after like you talking about the first coffee.
Fantastic. Welcome, Raf. And let's cup the first one. Let's taste this coffee. For this lot, of course, always we can have some different impression or different comments. I think it's important to tell that for me, the keywords of this coffee can be like molasses, very sweet coffee. And the suggested score is around 87.5. But more important is the kind of fragrance that is really very fruit and sweet, like lemongrass, and very caramelized sugar in the flavor, molasses. Can you, this is some impression, maybe you have different opinions or different impressions. Could you share, Alexandre and Raf, some of your comments with me, please?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I really enjoy this coffee. I think it's definitely true that it's very sweet. I get sort of chocolatey and some pleasant sort of hazelnuts as well, which is always tasty. And it has a really kind of delicate but strong, long-lasting sort of crisp citrus acidity that really goes to the end. So you have this super tasty mix of the sort of the chocolates, the molasses, these sort of sugars, and it's sort of kind of really nicely finished off with this crisp sort of acidity, I think, that pulls everything together. So yeah, I am a big fan of this coffee number 1. It's always comes up as one of my favorites.
Wow,
yeah,
wonderful.
Like just adding also, like also how the balance of this coffee is also very nice. And I think like putting like what you, Silvio, said, and what Raf said, we are talking here about a very nice espresso, but like for those who are watching us, like we would like to hear your comments. I'm seeing here like some of participants that have like already worked with us on this project of controlled fermentation for some time. For example, here we have Bratijukovsky is over here, David Zadara, our friends from Ethno and Mawachana. Feel free to give your opinion, like if anyone has tasted this coffee before, I think the main goal is also to eliminate the cultural barriers that may exist between like Brazilian tasters and the tasters in Poland, because that is gonna like really bring us together to one language while like tasting coffee and actually present it to the final customer.
This sounds perfect. And Alex, just to let you know, we use the color here, Agtron 6365 is around this. Is more or less how you use in the competition. May I ask, because then I have different flavors until the table is still hot. Can we move for the coffee number 2? What do you think?
Yeah. As again, we discussed a few times, these coffees. I've been lucky to kind of been working on this project a little bit with Alex, and I think 2, you know, we've discussed the espresso profiles and stuff. I think 2 has all of the sweetness, the complexity that we're after from these coffees, but the acidity is a little bit more, it's a little bit lower and more balanced with the sweetness. So if we're looking for a coffee that I would say kind of goes really well with milks, espressos, here it's a really stable profile. It definitely is going to be sort of, I think, a consistent coffee like a lot of the ones here that all year round I'm confident that we can have the same kind of profile from here with the sort of, these really strong, rich chocolate notes, some kind of like caramelized sugars, molassesy things, and again, like this really sort of sweet, sort of, I think, sort of like toasted, toasted almonds with some sort of honey toasted almonds as well. So yeah, for me, super rich, very balanced, structured coffee. I think would be really enjoyable.
Wow. Thank you, Raf. I love these comments because, I mean, for me, what's come up immediately when we start cupping this coffee is very equilibrium. The acidity does not take the overall. So I guess trying this coffee, even this color, that I should taste this coffee in espresso could be a very, very interesting coffee for espresso basic. Alexandre?
Well, I think like Raf talked like so intense about this coffee that like I don't know if like I have like that much to add. Like I think like in my opinion is also like a lot of like a really strong nutty taste on it, like mixed with chocolates as well. Like I think we can see like also some berries like that I feel in this coffee. Like once again, like with like a very milky and fat milk body. That's what I feel on it. So like I'm also be excited to try it as espresso, but like very consistent coffee, which are very interesting to like believe for mass sale, right? Like I think we could put this like in a grinder in cafeterias and it would go very well.
Fantastic. It's very welcome. The audience, if they can send some questions, some comments, is very welcome because, you know, always cupping coffee is the opportunity for us to learn more, to exchange, to give different perspective and view for different flavors. And let me recover one information is important here. The coffee number 2 is produced in Cerrado region in Brazil. And the altitude for this coffee is 950 meters, and the variety is Topazio. And we have 12 bags for this coffee. This is sample number 2. Alexandre, if you can just go back to the sample number 1, because I wish to give the information about from which region is that coffee that I didn't give in the proper time. So the sample number 1, it was produced in the region that is called the Campo das Vertentes here in Brazil. Altitude is 1100 meters. Varietal is Catucaí Yellow 2SL. So, and we have 11 bags. So just to correct the information, I think now is for both is good. For different varietals and the different regions. The first one is Campo das Vertentes, and the second is Cerrado regions. Can we move forward? Cupping number 3?
No, actually, like, let's see, I'm here. Maybe Adam Shedewik from, like a roaster from Wrocław would like to make some questions about it. Adam, have you tried those coffees? Have you had a chance? I don't know, like, well, he sent me a photo that he's actually watching everything, but I don't know if he can hear me right now, or maybe he has a problem to talk himself, like via audio. Well, we can also, like, if you're having problems with audio, everybody, like, you can always write also your comments via chat, right? Like, and we're gonna be also happy to share, like, with Silvio later, like with everybody in Brazil, like, and among our fellow roasters. Let's move to sample number 3.
Okay, good. For the sample number 3, please. So we have covered this lot a few times already. And if I can say more specific words, what this coffee brings immediately to my mind when I cup is something like, it's sweet, like it has a little bit of powdered milk together, because it's very smooth, very nice, very delicate coffee, very refined acidity between citric, malic, and tartaric, and very, very lingering aftertaste. This is a specific taste, refined taste that reminded me like score 7.25 for this one. And the main flavor, if I can say just one main flavor, something like is touch of milk. What do you think, you guys? Tell me, what is your impression, please?
Yeah, I think, you know, we've spoke about this one, and I like it because it's sort of, it's a super rich coffee. It has all of these sort of, for me, positive, in a positive way, but like I have this sort of very sort of sweet, sort of fresh, dark chocolate. I get these sort of fruity, fresh tobaccos. I have, it's very, I said milky. It has a sort of very complex, very, very rich, complex flavors and characteristics for me. And I think it's the coffee that really stands out. And you know, it can. I think on the table it can dominate in a way because it is such a bold, intense coffee. But it really has these sort of elegant things. I think, you know, it's like a classic French wine. It's a
beautiful, elegant French wine. Tell Alexandre, please.
Yeah, I think I can feel a lot of nuts, the caramel, and also the tobacco is like a very strong, like I think feeling that the taste, right? Like this kind of, I think Rafa described very well also. Like I think especially in the aftertaste, you can see this tobacco and this kind of spices like coming through it. Like and it comes out like in a very like fluent and pleasant way. So like also very interesting coffee that I think could be like very universal as well. I think could come also like nice in a French press as well.
Wow.
Or like in this Italian, in Poland they call it kawiarka. I think also could be a very interesting coffee. And yeah, like a very good option as well that we can get through this technology.
Fantastic. Good. So let's see from where this coffee is coming from. This coffee came from Cerrado regions. The altitude is 1,050 meters, and the varietal is Mundo Novo, and bags available is 15 bags, 16 up. So this is this sample number 3. Can we move for the number 4?
Well, I would prefer to hear some comments first. Like
yeah, good. Let me copy again.
Like we're going to be here talking about ourselves and.
Guys, I love to copy this first because of the diversity. And now we are talking coffee that has much more lively acidity, but not sharp in negative way. Lively, like sparkling, like something that is bubble. For me, what impressed this coffee that has these notes and with some honey in the back. So interesting because I mean it's a very, it's delicate, and these sparkling notes call a lot in my attention. What do you think, guys? Do you think that is in this way, or you may think in different way about this flavor profile?
Yeah, I think it's as you say, it's got this really crisp, sparkling acidity, but the profile is sweet enough to balance, so it's not sharp or dominating. It has, you know, as we spoke, I always find its coffee is interesting. They all have this sort of foundation of what you want from a good Brazil. It's sort of very sweet, you know, caramelized sugars, little chocolates, as the hints of these sort of rich, tasty, sort of fatty nuts that gives that kind of strong body. But this then goes on and has extra layers on top. So they have this tropical fruit, this sort of sparkling acidity from the tropical fruit. I think it has these, you know, delicate floral notes coming through as well. It has citrus, so it's a super complex coffee, but really balanced, and you know, the sweetness really holds it together, so the acidity doesn't dominate. And I think that's yeah, it's what always is nice about this coffee. It's strong, it's crisp, but it holds together with a really nice stable kind of flavors.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I think
Nice.
The acidity is sparkling, but it's not dominating, right? And I think that's all how we see many coffees on the control fermentation, is how they can be very balanced, right? Even when they come out more exotic, let's say, in a way, they keep also a very nice body, right? A thick body, keep this consistency, in balance, a very nice aftertaste, which is very unique. And I think also very nice what Raf said, right? That the technology actually, and you said as well, Silvio, is not to change the coffee, it's to improve the coffee, right? So we are having a Brazilian coffee, which is generally tasted around the world, but through this technology we actually can see it improved, and many profiles that was not found before, that could not be drank before Brazilian coffees, now we can. So it's great.
Fantastic information, Marcelo, because I mean, this technology that is applying through this work can emphasize the cupping quality, not change, but emphasize the positive points, the positive aspects. Is really, really very interesting, the results. So, and this lot, sample number 4, is came from the region south of Minas. Could you go next, please? South Minas, altitude is 1,000 meters. No, 4. 1,000 meters, and the variety is Arara. Bag is 20 bags that is available for this coffee. Region Sul de Minas, or south of Minas, 1,000 meters. Arara is quite a new variety in Brazil that is performing as well, very, very good. So, guys, can you move forward for next one?
Well, I think we do so. Let's try to engage here our guests, maybe in the end, right? I think would be a nice way, so they
Good.
can give a full idea of the experience of trying these coffees. Okay, Silvio?
Please, please.
So feel free to go to.
Okay, I will be moving for number 5. And this specific lot call a lot my attention in flavor profile. First, it has some, from the fragrance and aroma, and as well in the flavor, has some touch of it floral notes or something like mint. Something is coffee, still coffee, but together has some of these delicate floral notes, sometimes like jasmine, with some sweet and a touch of mint. So this coffee performed in cupping very well, and very exotic, very different as well. And I have been cupping during all this work with Nucoffee Artisans, a few lots with this kind of a profile. I love to hear your opinion, Rafi, Alexandre, and the guests who cup this coffee, if you could tell something about this profile, please.
Yeah, I think 5 is an interesting one. A little bit like 3, it's a much bolder coffee. The body is more intense. I think the flavors are stronger, but still it has a lot of these delicate sort of high quality characteristics. So yeah, we discussed florals. So for me here, when it cools, they open up a lot more. I get to these hibiscus rose florals. It has a lot of this sort of dark fruit and sort of dark sugars as well, like some kind of molassesy, dark chocolatey. So again, it's kind of like a lot of these fermentations, it's balanced. Even when they're strong and intense, they're still balanced. But what's kind of interesting is they're all multi-leveled coffees. It's not just a chocolatey, nutty coffee. There are, you know, more florals and more citrus. And for me, this is, you know, it's bolder. It's richer flavors, slightly on the darker end of some of the sugars. The florals are there, you know, as it cools. And I think, you know, a lot of these coffees are versatile. Like this, for me, I think would make a pleasurable espresso. The acidity is strong, but it's in with the sweetness. But at the same time, as a filter coffee, I think it will work really good as well. And I think, you know, realistically, I think I really enjoy all the coffees on the table, and I think you know, it's sort of depending on the mood and what I want to use it for. They all have a very nice position, and for me, this is yeah, it's a really complex, very rich coffee, and I think it shows with this sort of, yeah, these florals and this, and yeah,
beautiful
spices and chocolates. So yeah, it's complex.
Complex. I love that multi-level complexity, and it depends how you are thinking how to use. You have different flavors and different way how you can use different, I mean, way to develop even the roast and the purpose of this coffee. Alexandre, you like to share some more about this number 5, Alexandre?
I think like just complementing, I think there's also like this taste of clove, right? Like this very also very nice, like in the aftertaste. I think like some mint, like a very strong taste of spices. Like I think I got like that, like on my palate. And yeah, the floral definitely there as well, like which is also like very difficult to find in Brazilian coffee. So like it's really like a nice cup.
Wonderful, good. We do have some question for. Okay. This coffee again is from the region Campo das Vertentes, that is located in Minas Gerais. The altitude is 1,100 meters. And the varietal is Catucaí Yellow 2SL is the variety. We have 8 bags available for this coffee, for this specific one. Nice, beautiful one. We do have any question for the audience, or can we move for the next one, Alexandre?
I think like I believe like we can make a sum up like with the guests like in the end, right? Like
okay, good.
Open the. Like everybody, like all the guests, like just to inform, like your mics are open. So like if you wanna be part of it and like say something about it, like we can like interrupt us anytime. Like we are just here, a big family, trying to connect origins like with our market. But in any sense, we can do a sum up in the end. I think it's gonna be the best.
Sounds great, Alexandre. Sounds great. So going to the sample number 6 is the last one today that will be give you a comments. And for me, this coffee, when I cup it before, I need to try again. Exactly this. This coffee is very fruity. When I cup this coffee, it's immediately coming to me some more red fruits, cherries, a lot of cherries, a lot of strawberries, but all the refined red fruits. This is one of the character of some of this processed coffee. It's clean, it's very fruit, very pleasant, without any sour in the back, because it is still very sweet. This coffee has impressed me a lot in the flavor profile because of its characteristics. That is really, this cherry one is like a syrupy peach. You know, sometimes I'm a little bit afraid to dream a little bit how to give descriptions, because I mean the coffee sometimes, okay, keep it simple, but is the way just to give some more information on how I feel when I cup this kind of coffee cupping or coffee character, how we describe it, not more this peach flavor or a syrupy peachy flavor and fruity. Guys, please, love to hear you. What do you think about this sample number 6?
Yeah, I think, you know, I really agree with you. I think you do have these red fruits, delicious. I think there is a sort of, they say peach, it's like there's a sparkling acidity, like peach type. It's really refreshing. But again, you know, what's really nice is that some of these, sometimes you have coffees which are really crisp and sort of citrusy and fruity like this, but they don't have a heavy body. And I think what's really nice here is you have this body that really holds everything, but you have also this really crisp, clean, of sparkling acidity. Yeah, I get this sort of tropical fruits in here, the stone fruits, red fruits. Like I was saying, really multi-layered coffees. I think each time you try them, the temperatures they change. They're always evolving and always with really good flavors. So I think it's hard to choose one. I think, you know, we have 6 on the table. It's one for each day, and on Sunday you can have one of the other ones again.
Like for me, it's quite interesting because like these coffees, like they help me also like not to miss home, because like they have these tropical fruits like on it, like the coffees from controlled fermentation. Many of them like come with this, so like I can feel also the papaya, the pineapples, and the oranges. Like which is like my favorite thing to eat like when I'm in Brazil. So like it's really amazing. Like definitely number 6 is my favorite of all of them, even though all the coffees like is unique. This one like for like a sentimental sense is my favorite.
Good. So
I would like Silvio, maybe like to hear from the audience, like
sure.
To sum up, like we have here like roasters which are also friends, like that I consider, and I think like we could try to make it as a sum up. Like if we could hear at least like on 2 or 3 that would feel comfortable to share their ideas live, but also like via chat. If you can just write, for example, guys, like what is my favorite one, right? Like the 2 favorite ones of each one of you.
Good. Alexandre, like, just quickly here. This last coffee from number 6 is the region south of Minas. Is 1,150 meters, and the bags is 14 bags available. Just to give all information about varieties and the regions that we have here for you. And please go ahead, Alexandre, with the communication with our audience. What is good is, as a cupper, to have this opportunity to cup together all these different profiles became from this project. Sometimes much more fruit, sometimes more molasses or sweetness side, some sparkling, some floral notes. So this and produce in I should say in consistent way that can be good for the producers and wonderful for the roasters that can use the same profile for the purpose of their blends or their estate coffees. This is important for us to understand all this flavor and show that this coffee that they are producing is producing in Brazil through this project, and this is available. Please, Alex, go ahead.
Well, I'm trying here to, I can see that our guests, like most of them still didn't open up their microphones. So let me see, like, well, Konrad from Chanepala maybe can talk something to us. Hello, Konrad, how are you? Have you tried the coffees? Well, I think everybody shared today might be like that. Even though it was a beautiful day in Poland, but like I think like we can try to do in a sense that like if give about 1-2 minutes, so like our guests like could via chat like share like if they have tried the coffees and which of those coffees they are their favorite. I think also will be a nice way of participation, and even like to see if we can connect like their ideas with our ideas over here. Silvio, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it sounds perfect, lovely. And please provoke, Marcelo, what is your two favorites one? Alexandre, please.
My favorite one?
Yes, two ones for you.
Well, my favorite one like is the number 6, right? Like well, I already said why, and the number 1, because I think like I just like can't wait like to make espresso out of it, and like I think those are my favorite ones. I think I would like meanwhile also to use this opportunity to tell our guests that those coffees were roasted in Brazil, okay, like and was sent already roasted. So we also have here like as I also have received some comments that there is a difference in the roasting profile in general, that like here in Poland usually before the cupping like it's preferred to have like lighter roast, right? While in Brazil like we have a different profile, but like we decided to do like that so everybody could try the coffee with the same roast, so like everybody would have like the same taste. But of course that like the potential of this coffees also can get even better, like as like each one of you can actually like roast in your way, use your own art, right? Like as the growers are using their art to produce the coffees at the farms, I think we can combine here also with the roasters making their own art while roasting it and like take the full potential of those coffees.
I think also just to say, you know, the roast here is like the SCA spec. It's the universal coffee roast. Europe, I think, from my experience, doesn't like to follow this rule, so it has slightly different approaches. But this is, you know, the universal roast language for the world, and I think from here we know what will happen if we go lighter. The acidities become more intense. If we go darker, we get more of the dark notes and less acidity. So it's a really nice way to approach the coffees because you see all the potential, and I think that's why it's been chosen, this color spec. And I'm a big fan of it. But yeah, like Alex said, I think it's from here you can do whatever you want, but we see the full potential. And you know, that considering they weren't roasted a few days ago here, I think they stand up as well. If we take the factor of how long ago they were roasted, these coffees are standing up really well. They're still tasting super fresh, and I think that shows good quality.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was like José Naves prepared these coffees for us. And even in a call earlier today, he was explaining that to us that like through this technology, through this processing, like it shows that like even after 1 month, like he kept the quality like going quite well, like for cupping. So
from a roaster perspective, this makes me feel safe in the coffee because you don't have to worry so much about the coffee becoming bad in a few weeks, or that, you know, if I don't use it all in 6 months, you feel safe that in a year it probably tastes the same. And I think, yeah, this does show me that it's a safe and stable coffee. I would like to try it roasted yesterday. I think it would be super interesting, but you know, it's already exciting, so no problem.
That's true. That's true. He's already excited. Even the coffee is prepared like 20 or 30 days ago when Mr. José Naves sent it to us. But even though this coffee is still stable, and Raf, let me explore a little bit about you again. I know you comments, I give you all great comments in all the coffees. Which is your preference? Do you have some specific one, or is the overall depends on the purpose of how you be using this coffee? Could you tell something?
Yeah, I think I would have to sort of split it. I'll say 2. I think, you know, we have these coffees that are bolder and more intense, and we have these coffees that are a little bit lighter, a bit more crisp. So in the bolder one, I think 5. It's a really intense, super complex coffee. It has this sort of slightly more jammy, natural characteristic that I enjoy. And the others, they're kind of very crisp and clean, and it's kind of a difficult one for me. You know, the first time we were kind of cupping these particular lots, I was thinking 4, 4, and 4. But the more I try one, the more I kind of start to think I could drink more of one. But I think 4 is more complex. I think that's the thing. 1, it's really interesting, but it's a little easier to drink. So I'd probably go with 4 and 5 to have like this sort of slightly more different in characteristics. And yeah, you know, rotate them one each day, 1 in the morning, 1 at night.
This could be my answer. One each day. That would be good.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I make a blend for Sunday.
I think like moving forward, right? Like I think we try here like 6 coffees, like our guests, some of them tried. We get here a mess on the chat that like while we're talking, like people are still grinding the coffees, so like they didn't have a chance to cup yet. Like we understand everybody's busy, so like it's normal. Like I think most important is like sooner or later to try them because it's a great experience. But like how we move forward from here, Silvio and Raf, right? Like because what this experience over here is like we can say is the basis of controlled fermentation, right? Like we can like provide coffees with similar profile like all over, right? Like if not like the lot number 1 that we tried here, we're going to be able to provide another lot which is going to be very similar, or even like some little bit different characteristics, but we can provide like coffees with fruity, floral, spices, like balanced. So that's why like the 6 coffees were selected for this, right? Like to give understanding, right? And we can provide this also like massively, right? Like we already had like 400 farmers this year taking part. Next year, like the estimation is that going to be produced about like 40,000 bags of 60 kilo of like coffee with controlled fermentation. So like we have a possibility to actually introduce like not only niche, right? Like micro lots, like that are going to be tasted only for a few people, but bring this like to the larger audience. And I would like to reframe that like we have at this moment like available still in Brazil above 50 lots of like included these cups were on the table, but other lots as well. That like everybody that participated here today, you're gonna get like this offer list for us, and like we also like receive the samples and like join us, participate with us, like and not only by trying the coffees or eventually purchasing, but like we really need this feedback. We really need this feedback from the market, because like I think we have enough resources to make enough improvement for the future to make like discover new flavors, or even to enhance these flavors that we have here right now.
This sounds great, Alexandre. So, and feel free in the future if you have more questions, but I think you are in very correct and positive way, giving all this feedback for the research, for this work, for Dr. Rosane, as well for the project. Thanks a lot, and I'm available as you wish to have any question. It'll be my pleasure to answer.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna give the word then once again to André Savino, which is gonna like close this meeting today for us. Like, well, I had a lot of fun, and I believe that our guests had a lot of fun as well. Well, I had a lot of fun with you, Silvio, but like especially with the coffees, to tell the truth. Like, okay. Okay, André, please. Like, we're going to be waiting for you to close our meeting today. Thank you very much.
Oh, thanks, Alexandre. So it's indeed it's I have to say that I'm jealous of you guys, because I'm not having such coffees here. So I asked already to Navis, I need to try those. it looks like very special. So fantastic day. I'm very excited. So I'd like to say thank you, very big thank you to you, Alexandre. So it's a big pleasure to be partner of you with the Unroasted. So also thank you, Silvio, for this support during the cupping as well, and also thanking all the audience here to make this event fantastic, and also the Nucoffee. As you have mentioned in the beginning, our main purpose is to do connections. So it's now it's a big flavor of the making connections, connecting one piece to another piece, and creating such a fantastic experience that it's around coffee. Coffee, despite the water, is the most important drink, and so this is a great pleasure to be here. So thank you so much. Thank you, Alexandre, again. Thank you guys for the audience, and I see you soon, I hope. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rosane. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.